At the Louvre, every work of art tells a story. Some are stories of hope, some of despair. One canvas tells the true story of a naval tragedy. These are the survivors of an unspeakable ordeal. 147 people set adrift on a hostile sea. When rescue finally came, there were just 15 survivors. What happened? The French ship Medusa set sail in 1816 to reclaim the colony of Senegal. But off the coast of Africa, the captain's incompetence led to his vessel coming too close to shifting sandbanks, where it ran aground.
The commander promised, standing before the white Bourbon flag, that everybody would be saved. They made this pledge and then promptly seated themselves in the nice longboat, and the other people, the rabble, as it were, they were consigned to the raft.
The raft the crew constructed was large, almost the size of a tennis court. But under the weight of 147 people, it barely floated at all.
The plan was that the boats would form a kind of convoy linked together by ropes, and they would row the raft to shore. One of the officers got a hatchet and he started to hack at the rope that was pulling the Medusa. The raft of the Medusa was abandoned, without any navigational equipment, without a rudder, on stormy seas. And on the first night, fairly rough weather, when they woke up in the morning, they found people squealing because their legs had been trapped between the spars and the masts of the raft. And there was also a tremendous sense of anger on board. And the rabble, the members of the Africa Battalion, took this out on the commanders. After the riot on the second night, when they woke up, they found 60 people dead. It occurred to some people that this was a potential source of nourishment. But what happened before they resorted to the cannibalism was they started to eat anything they could get their hands on. They would scrape the scum and scurf out of hats and start to eat that. They would eat the leather of their ammunition pouches. But it was a fairly gruesome task to have to eat it raw, scooped off the body of a dead comrade. After nearly 2 weeks of floating around in the middle of the ocean, increasingly deranged, hallucinating, lacerated, with only a few people left alive, suddenly somebody saw a tiny speck on the horizon and recognized it as a frigate. The captain on board, the Argus, was appalled by what he found. He saw these stricken, lacerated, demented people with huge beards, looking like ghosts, looking like creatures from another world. The first thing to say is Gericault's raft seems much smaller than the actual raft would have been. The bodies are more, if you want, Michelangelesque. They're in a rather fit, muscular, beautiful state, drifting aboard a raft. I think the confluence of personal tragedy and national tragedy that sparked Gericault results in one of the first great romantic paintings. In a sense, it's a dishonest record of what happened.